Hi and welcome to another episode of Delaware County Political News Meets the Candidate. Today we are here with Bonny Hodges, candidate for Springfield 4th Ward Commissioner. Bonny is passionate about enhancing the township's green spaces. She has been married for over 13 years with 3 children, Hank, Moira, and Oliver, and have lived in Springfield for over a decade. She graduated from the University of Pennsylvania in 2000 with a BSN and from Thomas Jefferson University in 2004 with a master's in nursing. She has worked as a nurse and family nurse practitioner in many diverse settings. Currently, she is a nurse practitioner with a family practice in Southwest Philadelphia and continually works to help her patients prevent illness through self-care. Additionally, she teaches Pilates to help strengthen and rehabilitate athletes. Locally, she supports the families and youth in Springfield by helping to organize school events and coaching through the Springfield Athletic Association and is a youth athletic coach. She loves music and is a member of the Media Chamber Chorale. Please enjoy my interview with Bonny Hodges. Bonny, thank you for being a guest on Delaware County Political News.
Thank you for having me.
Bonny, why do you want to run for office?
I want to run for office for a few reasons. First, after watching the historic run of a female as the first major party candidate in the history of the United States was incredibly inspirational for me. And when I thought to Springfield, the town that I live in and have lived in for 10 years, I realized that the town has been run by Republicans for decades now. And I began to have concern about that. And so I decided to run to try to bring a Democrat to the table and also to increase the gender ratio of men to women. To have a woman's voice at the table as a Democrat, I think, is important.
Tell me more about Springfield. How is Springfield unique?
Springfield is unique in many ways. There's a diverse socioeconomic background to the population in the town. We have a tremendous school district, stellar athletics, and an amazing park system for families and the community to enjoy.
What do you want to do when you're in office?
When I'm in office, I hope to propel the high school development. There's a new school that's supposed to be built that's been approved by the school district. And I want to ensure that the land development goes forward as soon as possible. Further, I want to continue to enhance the park systems and green spaces for community use and community engagement.
Why should the voters vote for you?
We need some new leadership in the town. We need to have democratic ideals represented at the table with our entirely Republican-led town. I think also we need to have more women in leadership positions, and we need to encourage women to use their voices. Lastly, I am an active mom, wife. I'm a nurse, and I help organize school events routinely, and I'm an active community member who is able to connect with all of the constituents in the town, and I'm able to bring that back to the leadership and represent everyone in the 4th Ward.
What have you learned from your campaigning?
What I have learned is that there is tremendous fear in Springfield, fear of the Republican Party. We have voters who register as Republican even though they're Democrats because they're afraid that their garbage won't be picked up. And I've learned that people aren't willing to speak up for fear of repercussions from the party, which is equal to the township in many of the constituents' eyes. So that has been very surprising to me.
What is your biggest strength?
I speak up. I use my voice to stand up for what I believe is right in the town.
What is your biggest weakness?
Probably that I speak up and I use my voice in the town.
Has that ever gotten you into any trouble?
I have put off some people in calling out in calling out misinformation or misguided statements.
Have you ever been to any township meetings?
Of course, yes.
What has been your observations of what goes on?
Well, I've been to several, both zoning, parks committee, and meetings for this high school development from the genesis of the project, and also to commissioner meetings. I've tried to expose myself to as much as possible. And my experience is that this town has great pride, and it should. However, I think that there are decisions made before the public has a chance to weigh in. And I think if there is a question from the public about a goings-on in the town, there's a lot of condescension and there's a lot of distaste for being questioned.
Tell me about your background.
So in my household, in my childhood, growing up, I was given the role of caregiver to most of my family. And I am good at being a caregiver, but I was never really given a voice at the table. I was never really given a voice.
And how does that motivate you now?
Well, I'm motivated through my work as a nurse practitioner. One of the main goals is to empower my patients to speak up for themselves and also provide themselves with good self-care.
What are you doing as a nurse and where?
So I'm a family nurse practitioner and I work at a nurse-run family practice in Southwest Philadelphia.
You feel passionately about what you do.
I love to connect with people and offer the suggestion to people who feel powerless that they actually are able to move beyond the expectations of what society has placed on them.
And how do you do that?
Well, as a primary care provider for patients across the lifespan, newborn babies to the most geriatric patients you could imagine. I do that through teaching self-care and providing people with a place to come and ask questions about their health, and also to provide them with education and tools to care for themselves better.
What do you stand for?
I stand for equality of all people, that despite where you may come from, you still deserve a voice and the chance to have opinions and to exercise your right to vote however you want.
How does that affect your candidacy? How does that motivate you now?
Well, it motivates me every time I go out and knock on doors in Springfield. It motivates me to encourage every voter in the 4th Ward to get to the polls on November 7th and encourage them that it is safe to do so in our town, and that if anybody wants change, we have to be the ones to do it.
You were talking about that you sensed or noticed fear in the community. How did that manifest itself, or how did you notice that?
Well, there's a lot of whispering at doors when there's family members home. Women especially felt that they needed to lower their voices in speaking to me. Also, in asking people who promise me that I have their vote and they're wholeheartedly in support of a Democrat joining the commissioner board, they're unwilling to help in any way, most basically with even a sign in their yard, for fear of repercussions from the township.
Is this something they said?
Yes. Oh, repeatedly. You hear it every time you're out knocking on doors, from multiple doors. From Republicans and Democrats.
Did Republicans pledge their vote to you as well?
Many. Far more than I ever imagined would.
And did they discuss their registration?
Yes.
What did they say to you?
The main comment is, well, I'm a Democrat, but because I live in Springfield, I have to register as a Republican.
And what explanation did they give for that?
It's a Republican town, and if you want anything to get done for you or for your house, that you have to do it to protect yourself.
What advice do you have for the people of Springfield?
I have been running since February, and this role as a Democrat in a Republican territory, and I've had no repercussions. And in fact, I feel stronger using my voice and speaking up about things that I disagree with, agree with, or feel strongly about. It's okay to come out of the shadows. It's okay to have opinions. It's okay for women to have a voice separate from their partners. It's okay to say that you don't like how things are being done. And we have to start operating from that place instead of the place of fear.
Bonnie, recently you received some staunch praise that you drew some inspiration from. Isn't that right?
I did.
Share that with us, please.
I spoke with my grandmother, who's in her 90s, and this is a Depression-era, die-hard, fiscal conservative Republican who was completely shocked when she heard that I was running for office, because she knows that I am a nurse in my professional career to this point. But also, she was a little dismayed when she heard that I'm running as a Democrat. So after her startled responses, which were amusing, she was able to say, you know, you make good decisions. You seem to do things for the community. And you're a good mother. And I know that you're going to do your best, even though you're a Democrat. And what gives me hope from that for change in Springfield is that even a person, well, not in Springfield, but on the complete opposite side of the aisle, was able to put her differences of party aside and look at me for my strengths of leadership and character. And it just gives me hope that there's going to be many people in the Fourth Ward of Springfield who are able to do that as well.
How will you reach across the aisle once you're elected?
I think by being present. I have to be present with both Republicans and Democrats and independents for all constituents in the ward. But also by being present and listening to the experience of my co-commissioners and other leaders in the community, and then hopefully melding the two groups, the constituents and the leadership, and coming up with plans to enhance the community to the best of all of our ability.
Well, Bonnie, that's all we have time for today, but I want to thank you for being a guest on Delaware County Political News.
Thank you so much for the time.
We have been here with Bonny Hodges, Democratic candidate for 4th Ward, Springfield Township Commissioner, and I am your host, Larry DeMarco. If you like this video, please share it with all your contact list and Facebook friends. And if you like my website, don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe. We're signing off. Tune in next time. Bye for now.